They have been hearing rumors about a woman called Iya Philo using dark magic to cook, and they wanted to find out what lay hidden inside her pot of stew. Hence, the two young men came up with a plan to go into the restaurant to find out. One hot afternoon, the restaurant was busy as usual. The two young men came in and ordered their favorite dishes. At first, everything seemed cool, but before you could say Jack Robinson, a small disagreement ensued. Their argument quickly turned into a fight. They yelled at each other and pushed tables and chairs. The other customers tried to stop them, but the men were too angry. In the chaos, one of the men hit a large pot. The pot wobbled and then fell over. Everyone screamed and ran out of the restaurant in fear. The story begins. In the vibrant and bustling city of Lagos, there was no restaurant more popular than Iya Philo's. Her restaurant stood proudly on a busy street, with the aroma of delicious food wafting through the air, drawing people in from all directions. Iya Philo was known for her culinary skills and her warm hospitality. Her dishes were a blend of traditional Nigerian flavors that left people craving for more. Every morning, Iya Philo would wake up early and head to the market to get the freshest ingredients. She selected the finest meats, the ripest vegetables, and the most fragrant spices. She always had a smile on her face and greeted everyone she met. Little did they know that behind her kind facade lay a dark secret. Iya Philo's kitchen was a place of mystery. She had pots of various sizes simmering on the stove, each one filled with a different kind of stew or soup. The flavors were rich and mouth-watering. But there was something else in those pots, something that nobody could see. At the end of each day, when the restaurant closed, Iya Philo would lock the doors and retreat to a hidden room at the back of the kitchen. This room was filled with strange and eerie objects, dried herbs, old books with mysterious symbols, and jars filled with strange liquids. This was where Iya Philo performed her dark rituals. She had made a pact with a powerful witch that doesn't fly long ago. In exchange for her soul, she was given the ability to cast spells through her cooking. These spells made people addicted to her food, but they also brought misfortune and misery to those who ate it. At first, the effects of the dark magic were subtle. People would have nightmares, but they didn't think much of it. They simply thought it was because they had eaten too much before bed. But as the weeks went by, the nightmares grew worse. People dreamt of being chased by wild animals, of falling into dark pits, and of being surrounded by terrifying creatures. They would wake up in a cold sweat, their hearts pounding with fear. The bad dreams were just the beginning. Businessmen who frequented Iya Philo's restaurant started losing important contracts. Deals that seemed certain would suddenly fall through. They couldn't understand why they were having such bad luck. Some even lost large sums of money in mysterious ways. Men who ate at the restaurant found themselves unable to enjoy their wife's cooking. No matter how hard their wives tried, the food just didn't taste right. This led to arguments and fights at home. Marriages that were once happy and strong began to crumble. The men couldn't explain why they felt this way, but they couldn't stop themselves from craving Iya Philo's food. One day, a group of friends decided to visit the restaurant for lunch. Among them were two young men who were very close. They had grown up together and shared everything. But on this day, a small disagreement turned into a heated argument. They began to shout at each other, drawing the attention of everyone in the restaurant. The argument escalated quickly. Tables were overturned. The chairs were knocked over as the two men pushed and shoved each other. The others, customers, tried to intervene, but the men were too angry to listen. In the chaos, one of the men stumbled and hit a large pot that was simmering on the stove. The pot wobbled dangerously before it fell to the ground with a loud crash. The contents spilled out, and to everyone's horror, a big python snake fell out from the bottom of the pot. The splash of the stew everywhere made it more gory, and the sight of the snake sent everyone into panic. People screamed and ran out of the restaurant, pushing and shoving to get away from the terrifying creature. The news of the python spread quickly through the town. People were shocked and frightened. They couldn't believe they had been eating from a pot that had a huge snake in it all this time. They began to talk about the strange things that had been happening since they started eating at Iya Philo's restaurant. The bad dreams, the lost contract, and the marital problems all seemed to be connected to her food. The townspeople were furious. They gathered outside the restaurant, shouting and demanding answers. They wanted to punish Iya Philo for her evil deeds. Iya Philo tried to escape, but the angry crowd blocked her. Just as the crowd was about to attack Iya Philo, the police arrived. They pushed through the crowd and arrested her. They took her away in handcuffs while the townspeople cheered. Iya Philo's restaurant was closed down, and the people hoped that their bad luck would end. The townspeople cleaned their homes and performed cleansing rituals to get rid of the curse. Slowly, things began to improve. Businessmen started getting new contracts, and families mended their relationships. The bad dreams stopped, and the men who had stopped eating their wives' cooking began to enjoy it once again. The townspeople never forgot what happened at Iya Philo's restaurant. They learned to be cautious and to trust their instincts. They were grateful that the evil woman was gone and that they could live in peace once again. But there was still one mystery that remained unsolved. Who was the witch that taught Iya Philo how to entice customers with dark magic to her restaurant? The townspeople speculated and whispered among themselves, but no one knew the true identity of the powerful witch. The hidden room at the back of the kitchen was left untouched, a reminder of the dark magic that had once plagued their lives. Years passed, and the memory of Iya Philo faded. A new restaurant opened in the same location, and the people of Lagos continued with their lives. But deep down in their hearts, the spirit of Iya Philo lingered. Apprehensive of another Iya Philo somewhere in their city, ready to wreak havoc, or already doing so. One thing was certain: the people of Lagos would never forget the evil woman named Iya Philomena and the dark magic that had almost destroyed their community. They had learned a valuable lesson about trust, caution, and the power of obeying one's intuition. And they would always be on guard, ready to protect themselves from any new threat that might come their way. Although there are still possibilities of another Iya Philo lurking at the restaurant near you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories. Hit that notification bell so you never miss when we post a new story. I did love to read your thoughts, so leave a comment below to let me know what you think about the story.